All right, brothers and sisters, it's St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 2017. I'm out in the city of Flint, and I want to come out here just for a few moments and share a little bit of my thoughts with all of you. I'm out here. I've got some people I've taken to Hope Network to try to get some resources to get them back on their feet, and that's what we do with our ministry. As you can see, this is Hope Network. Hope Network out in the city of Flint, Michigan. And it's so sad that we're living in the last days and the end times. And we've got, I was reading the comments on a video I did earlier this morning about Donald Trump and budget cuts, cutting funding to programs like Meals on Wheels and the school lunch programs, and to try to build up our military. There's a great deal of controversy taking place with North Korea, and we got the Secretary of State over there trying to put a hard line on North Korea with their firing these missiles and threatening Japan, South Korea, and Hawaii, the United States of America. Our military is depleted so badly, and the state-funded programs, Meals on Wheels, and the federal-funded programs, they're actually corporations, and they've got to pay their board members, their CEOs, and by the time the money trickles down, look what's happening with our own states, whatever state that you live in. There's no funding, there's no money left by the time the CEO and all the big shots get their paycheck. There's no money left for the schools or for various programs like Meals on Wheels. And I even mentioned where, I think it was 2014, the CEO of Meals on Wheels, the head of Meals on Wheels at the time, they took her out in tears. She had funneled millions of dollars into her son's computer business. It's like the corruption runs so deep, and people out here are suffering. We've got churches that are only open once or twice a week, and they sit empty, vacant the rest of the week, and people could be helped. Little ministries like mine, there's no sources, there's no resources coming in. I want to thank Linda. I'm waiting to hear from ABC 12 News and another, or a few more news sources to see if we can get some type of exposure on what our ministry is doing out here in the city of Flint and Detroit, Michigan, that maybe we can get some much needed funding to support our ministry. I've just been relying on YouTube, and the church's attention today is not on the poor or the hungry. Their attention is on the end times and gloom and doom, and feeding these prosperity pastors on YouTube. And it's sad. It's we're living in the end days, and that's how I know how close we are to the rapture of the church. I want to share a video with all of you about a young disabled veteran who is making a difference when it comes to veterans that are homeless. Let me share that with all of you right now. Veteran who helps homeless vets aims to make it a nationwide movement. Kyle Cornwell was having dinner with some friends in Sacramento several months ago when he spotted a man wearing a military jacket and Vietnam vet hat sitting on the sidewalk. The man was visibly shivering. Cornwell, a disabled veteran himself, started to walk away, but turned around and took off his $200 jacket and gave it to the man. He then gave the man his leftovers from dinner and sat down for a talk. He started crying, and I just sat with him for like 10 minutes and talked to him and got his story, Cornwell told Fox News. I thought if I had this effect on just one person, what effect would I have on many more? From that night on, Cornwell has a new mission to help the more than 300 homeless veterans in his Northern California community and to inspire others around the country to do the same. I want this to be a movement, he said. I want this to blow up and for people all over the country to do this. I can only help so many veterans in my community, and others need to step up as well. He added, I ask how many people care? How many people will donate $5 instead of buying a coffee at Starbucks? The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, estimates that there are more than 39,000 homeless veterans at any given night nationwide. In California, HUD estimates there are more than 9,600 homeless veterans. Cornwell said there are about 300 homeless vets living in his community, and he has helped upwards of 50. The goal is to double that number. I drive around town and spot them. I talk to them and get their story, he said. I want to put warm clothes on them and food in their stomach. Part of talking to these veterans is also to get an idea of what kind of things they need. I write their names. It's like a modern-day Santa Claus, Cornwell said. Then I go out and see how much of that stuff I can get. He added, and I keep my word. I go back to the spot I met them. Goodwill and Salvation Army stores are Cornwell's go-to places to shop for clothes. He usually takes a 6-year-old daughter for the shopping trips. I am a single father, and I want to set a good example about paying it forward, he said. She's always asking to go shopping for the vets. Word has been getting around about Cornwell's mission, and many have reached out to help. At one point, they have a U-Haul truck full of donations from clothes to food to sleeping bags and even tents. One time I had 5 cars full of stuff to give out, he said. Many times we have come back with empty cars. Aside from actually giving these veterans clothes or food, Cornwell said the most important part is actually to talk to them, to let them know that there's someone who cares. Just talking to them, you can see the change in them. He added, Cornwell said he will be looking into making this project into a nonprofit, but in the meantime, donations can be made through GoFundMe, and there's a GoFundMe link there. And I believe he's raised over $6,000 in less than a month. And we're trying, we don't get the news media attention, and I believe it's 8 months now. We've raised $2,000. We're out there every single day. But God bless him, and we have to pray that more will come forward. And we need to thank this disabled veteran for having a heart for other veterans. There's more than homeless veterans. There's homeless families, entire mothers, fathers, children living on the street today. I'm learning as I go along, he said, and I wanted to share that with all of you. And veteran who helps homeless vets aims to make it a nationwide movement, and it needs to be a nationwide movement. It needs to come to the attention of everyone in every household all across the United States of America, the crisis, the homelessness, and it can happen to anyone at any time. God bless everyone. In closing, I want to thank the following for their support and their offerings to God's ministry, this ministry and outreach to the homeless. I want to thank Sister Barbara for the gift of $100 to our ministry to help with the homeless crisis. And precious Sister Sue, I love to get stuff in the mail. I got a beautiful letter from Sue in the mail with a check for $50. I'll put the link below to how you can support our ministry, God's ministry and outreach to the homeless in the city of Flint and Detroit and all surrounding areas. All the links will be below. God bless you today. Love one another today.